You guys seem to like seeing what's new in Darktable, and I like testing new features. So I decided to start a new monthly series where every month I will select a few pull requests I like and we will test them together. For those of you who don't know, a pull request is like when you submit code to a project. The code is then reviewed, and if it's good, it will be merged to the main project. So remember, these are pull requests, so it doesn't mean they will end up in the next Darktable release. But still, I think it's nice to see what people are working on. So today we will test 2 pull requests from June 2026. So if that sounds good for you, let's go. If you've watched my channel before, you know I like HDR, and I've made many videos explaining the different ways we can do HDR with Darktable. Right now, I'm using the HDR Merge plugin because the default HDR button in Darktable doesn't do alignment. But this pull request will bring alignment directly inside Darktable. So maybe in the future, I will no longer need the HDR Merge plugin. Now, I've already compiled this pull request so we can have a look together. What this pull request does is if we go to the Settings menu, Processing, there is a new section called HDR Alignment. When enabled, the first checkbox will let us do alignment before creating the HDR. Then there are different settings related to alignment, but to be honest, I don't know how they work. So for this video, I will use the default settings. Now I will create an HDR with and without alignment, and I will show you the side by side. This is a picture from Dresden, Germany, and it was shoot NL, so it's not aligned at all. So let's zoom 100%. On the left, you have the picture with alignment, and on the right, you have the picture without. So I think you can clearly see the difference. So right there, we see some ghosting. It's all blurry, while right there, it's very sharp. Now, if we look another area, again, same thing. Right there, it's very sharp. Everything is perfectly aligned. There we can see some ghosting and it's very blurry. So with this example, this pull request works very well. Overall, I like this pull request and I hope it will end up in the next Darktable release, because if it does, I will no longer need the HDR Merge plugin. But I have one small criticism. So last week I flew from Mumbai to Montreal, and because of delays, it took me 36 hours. So I had a lot of time and I watched this video. If you ignore all the attacks and condescending tone, I think there are good points there. One of them is that there are too many things in Darktable settings menu, and that pull request is a good example of that. For me, it will make more sense to have all the alignment settings in a small pop-up when creating the HDR, instead of going in the global settings menu to change them. I believe Lightroom is doing something similar, and to me it makes a lot more sense. But still, I think this is a really nice pull request, and if it's merged in the next release of Darktable, I will use it for sure. Now let's move to the next pull request. So Darktable is often criticized because of the user interface, but this pull request tries to fix that a little bit. This will add some customization to the default Darktable themes. Someone could already do that using CSS, but this pull request will make it easy for everybody. So I've already compiled this pull request and we will have a look. Right now, Darktable looks like Darktable. It's not horrible, but now if I go to Settings, General, under Theme, we have some new options. The first is a checkbox to make the module more compact. So as you can see, if I toggle it on and off, when it's on, things are much smaller. The second option is for rounded corner. So if you look on the side panel, when I enable it, you can see all the sections now have top rounded corners. Same thing if I go in the darkroom, you can see all the modules have rounded corners. Then we have an option called Focus Module Border. So if you open the combo box, you can see we have different colors there. So let's say I select blue because this is the accent color I currently have in KDE. Now let's say I open a module. You can see the border is now blue. So it makes it easier to see where the modules start and end. The next one is Expanded Module Border. To be honest, I don't know what this one is doing. So when I was trying to test it, it didn't do anything, or it did the same thing as border. So if, for example, there I remove this one, I believe now, yeah, my borders are green. To be honest, I don't understand this one. If you know, let me know in the comments. The last one is accent color. So right now it's set to none. So if I put, let's say, a blue, you can see all the power buttons for each module, they become blue. It's a very small change, but to be honest, I think it looks great. That's it for me. This was the first in this video series, so if you think it's a good idea, let me know in the comments. See you next time.